US markets are soaring to all-time highs as investors bet rising inflation won't be enough to deter the Fed from cutting interest rates. But it's tricky. It's more than obvious because prices rose 2.9% in August, highest annual jump since January, and a marked acceleration from July. Behind the increase, rising grocery and fuel prices, the cost of gas nearly 2% in August, coffee up 21%, and eggs, which of course has been such a political, pardon the phrase, hot potato, up 10%. Investors are still betting that Jerome Powell will press ahead and cut rates next week. That's because, of course, the dismal jobs data. Nathan Sheets is the global chief economist at Citigroup. Nathan, at the end of the day, should they cut with inflation at 2.9%, this level, and the weakness? Take politics out of it. I know you can't, but take politics out of it. Economics alone, should they cut?
This is a really tough situation for Jay Powell and his colleagues. I think Powell cares about only two things in the world. One of them is low inflation, inflation in the neighborhood of 2%. And the other is having a strong labor market and solid U.S. GDP growth. And he's now at a place where he's got to choose between them. And this is the most unpalatable choice he has to make. But I think on balance, there is a case that over time, the easing, the softening of the labor market looks more threatening than the inflation. And we can convince ourselves, if we talk long enough, that this inflation is temporary. And so I guess on balance, but I wish I could be more categorical. On balance, I would lean in the direction of the cuts. But the Fed's got to be really, really careful here and proceed with a lot of caution. This is a tough situation for them.
You see, he talked about this, didn't he, at Jackson Hole? And again and again in several speeches in his testimony of Congress, Powell has said where the two sides of the mandate are in conflict, it's whichever is most pressing at that given moment. I think you're probably right. It will be because the BLS numbers last week on job creation were truly devastating.
Yes, that was a very weak jobs report. Over the last 4 months, average job gains in the U.S. economy have been less than 30,000 a month. We also saw the unemployment rate start to creep up. This is a softening labor market. And, the reality is, and this also factors into the Fed decision, is the Fed believes that the stance of monetary policy is still restrictive. So when you see that softening of the labor market, that rise in the unemployment rate, albeit early and gradual, and you're still restrictive, it makes sense to start moving back toward neutral.
Do you see anything from your conversations with fellow top economists and ministers? Do you see anything where people are now seriously beginning to question the independence and integrity of the Fed? Because that relates to inflationary expectations. But the big worry is that people think the Fed is no longer independent. Are people starting to whisper that in quiet corridors?
I think that is an issue that is now being discussed and debated in various places that 12 months ago was just taken as an absolute foregone conclusion. And I do think to the extent that the independence of the Fed is further called into question, it is an issue that financial markets are going to struggle with. And over time, it could also contribute to a less stable macro environment. I think we should continue, and I hope that that's over time where the administration lands, to hold central bank Fed independence as a given in the economic universe.
Nathan, always good to talk to you. We'll talk more, obviously, as we head to after the next meeting. Thank you, sir.